Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to tonight's Meaningful Monday. If I'm clicking around, please just know that some people are still joining. I've just let someone in on the waiting room. All right, so for the people who are new to Meaningful Monday, I just want to say a really, really big warm welcome to you, and thank you so much for cutting out some time for yourself. I commend you for that. People don't often take an hour or hour and a half to just do something that helps you and enriches your life in some way. And I do intend to enrich your life and add value to you for the next hour and a bit. So Meaningful Monday is the first Monday of every month. So if you want to put a reminder in, or please, if you want to get the reminders of them, you need to join my newsletter. And you do that by going to the homepage of my website, which is my name, Janine Shaka International. And on the very front page, right at the very top there, is a place to put in your name and subscribe to the newsletter. You'll also receive a free Silver Method long relaxed meditation, and you will also receive free Silver Method technique called the cancel technique, and a whole list of words and inner dialogue statements that are very common, and how to be aware of negative inner dialogue and how to override that with a positive one, and the technique outlined there. So that's if you're new. So please join first Monday of every month. The purpose of Meaningful Monday is nothing more than just raising awareness. We need so much more awareness on this planet. It's not even funny. And the more awareness we raise, the more conscious we become, and the more conscious we live, the better you actually help the planet entirely. So tonight is a little bit of a confrontational subject. I suppose most of you know by now that I'm South African. There's some South Africans here actually, or Zimbabweans and South Africans who've been here before. So welcome back to the people who've come back. Thank you for joining again. There are quite some direct statements in this. Please don't let it offend you. If anything does offend you, ask yourself what inside me is resisting that comment. What inside me doesn't like to hear this? I've taken most of tonight's wisdom and knowledge from a book by James Allen called The Path to Prosperity, and I've only really scratched the surface of the very first few chapters. So I just felt there was so much wisdom in this book, I wanted to immediately share it. And I thought, what a better way to share it than on Meaningful Monday. So it's called The World Reflects You, because it's just the top of the waves of what this whole book is about. But because this book is the pathway to prosperity, it's obviously relating to prosperity, money, abundance, wealth. So more on the money subject. Here and there, I will also relate it to personal relationships, because they are a massive, massive opportunity for personal growth. In fact, out of every single thing in your life, the biggest opportunity for personal growth is in your relationships. And the closer the people are to you, the greater the opportunity. So the best learning ground. So I always say you never have to really go anywhere, or travel anywhere, or do something special to get into your growth zone. You just need to become conscious and aware, and use the current circumstances and conditions in your own life as the best growth zone. So the world reflects you. Let's begin. All right, so just very briefly, in a nutshell, a lesson on adversity. You all know this. You've probably heard what I'm going to share with you before. And hi, Jan, and welcome, Jan. Just never saw you earlier. Some of the stuff that I will share with you, you probably have heard or seen before. And there's one thing knowing, okay? And there's a whole other thing applying what we know. John Maxwell always says the biggest gap in the world is the gap between that which we know and that which we do. So some of this, as I said, you may have heard before. But let's think about our own lives as you go through every single slide here and everything I say. I want you to think about your own life and relate to your own life, so that this hour has a lot of meaning for you and can help you. All I'd like to do is help you have more prosperity, more love, more joy, more inner peace, better health than anything else. That would be my goal. That's what I want for everybody. So it says a lesson on adversity. You've read what it says there. Adversity becomes a teacher for those who are willing to learn. Now, that might sound a bit odd, like, oh, Janine, really? Are some people not willing to learn? Yes, a lot of people are unwilling to learn. If you want me to give you a statistic, it's probably more than 90% of the world are actually not willing to learn, because learning is demonstrated through a change in behavior. If you've got knowledge in your head and you don't apply it, you haven't learned. It's the same as if you have knowledge and don't apply it, you may as well not have the knowledge. So when I say adversity becomes a teacher for those who are willing to learn, and if you are willing to learn, because I'm going to share some interesting stuff with you tonight, if you are willing to learn, it means that you're willing to change. And everybody, to some degree or another, is unwilling to change. And if you don't believe me, just, think of the things that you do every day and having to change them. Anything. Wear your watch, on the other hand, it might annoy you after 2 weeks. Try to brush your teeth with your other hand, it might annoy you after 2 days. We are all slightly resistant to change. So if we can look at adversity as a gift from the universe, from God, from wherever you want, a gift to help us become a little bit more self-aware as to where we can let more light in. And I mean light, as in becoming a light person and getting out of negative adversities, which are dark. That's a dark, if you have any negative energy in your life, that's why they relate to the good being the light and the dark being evil and things like that. So just thinking about those terms, adversity is tough times and we don't like them and they put us in a difficult spot. But when we open ourselves to change, miracles can happen. So it says there, most people try to escape the bad things in life by doing things that only trap them further or lead to more dissatisfaction. I'm going to read that again. Most people try to escape the bad things in life by doing things that only trap them further or lead to more dissatisfaction. Because we try to escape, we try to get away from bad things. Not everybody, but some people. So just a bit of a reality check. People want to escape negative situations. If you're essentialist, you might go for booze or drugs or sex. If it's not you and you an aesthetist, then you might like to have more art, decor, improve the surroundings around you, refurnish your house, buy luxuries, buy an expensive something, upgrade something in your lifestyle. If you're devoted, you might go after gaining more riches, more power, more fame, putting it into work, or maybe into religion or religious traditions or something like that. But that's when we try to get away from things. Well, the good news is, I just can't see my own screen here. Hold on. The great escape in the pursuit of forgetfulness is what many people try to do. They try to forget their grief, forget their pain, try to forget their bad times, try to avoid thinking about or pondering on what's wrong in their lives. That's not the pathway. So this big billboard, I've put on a billboard. I created the billboard myself with a bit of PowerPoint here to say, if I could put this up as a billboard somewhere, I honestly would. Peace and happiness are not just a pipe dream. There is a path to permanent prosperity and peace. There is a path to permanent freedom from worry and fear. All we have to do is take our life's conditions and circumstances that trouble us and deal with them in another way that helps us grow, which I'll share with you tonight. So I just want to tell you a quick story about a burning boy. I'm just going to read this directly from this book. It's so cute. It says, back in the day, before electricity in households was commonplace, there was a boy who would cry to play with a candle when his mother would take him to bed. Every night he would do this. One night his mother was tired and she let her guard down. The boy grabbed the candle and was burnt. He never wanted to play with the candle again. By this one foolish act, The boy learned well the lesson of obedience. And he also learned that fire burns. Well, men and women likewise suffer through their ignorance of the nature of things for which they strive. And often the things that we strive for burn us. So once the boy learned something, he learned about obedience and he learned that fire burns, he changed his behavior. So if we are ignorant, and by ignorance I mean you might have knowledge but you don't apply it in your life, you're going to burn yourself over and over and over again. So think in your own life if there's anything that kind of keeps a repeating pattern that's unpleasant. It can be in any area. It can be to do with money. It can be to do with relationships. It can be to do with health, whatever it may be. It's because there is ignorance, and ignorance is often, it doesn't have to be that you dismiss an idea or you dismiss a philosophy or a concept or something. It may also be that you know something and you can even talk about it. You can even advocate the subject, but you don't actually apply it in your life. So I'm just going to talk about darkness. Please don't let these terms turn you off. They are just symbolic terms. When we talk about negative times or adversity or bad times or hard times, you can also call them evil. I'm not talking about anything extreme here or weird. I'm just saying that you get dark times and you get good times. Let's call the good times of the light and the bad times of the dark. So the darkness sometimes that we feel within, which is just any negative emotion, don't let the word turn you off. Any negative emotion is just a temporary shadow passing over you, cast by no one and nothing but yourself. Now, some people don't like to hear that, especially people who have a tendency to blame or have a victim mentality. I don't think any of you are like that because you're here on Meaningful Monday wanting to learn and grow. But there are a lot of people out there, and you know that that's true, and they will tell you that it's someone else's fault and all their suffering and all their darkness in their lives and all their bad times is caused by someone else. Well, James Allen says it's caused by no one and nothing but yourself. So evil has always been symbolized by darkness and good has always been symbolized by light. So here is a great interpretation of reality. Light floods the earth, and darkness is a shadow cast by a small body that's intercepting these rays of light. So good is the positive, life-giving power, and what we call evil is actually just a small shadow cast by ourselves that shut off the bright rays and the light from entering our soul. So just remember, when pain and sadness comes to you, it's because you are intercepting the light of your own personal goals and desires. And the dark shadow is cast by no other than yourself. And something also to mention is that the darkness is always temporary. That's why it says temporary right there. Even in Napoleon Hill's words in Think and Grow Rich, he says, within every temporary defeat lies the seed of an equivalent or greater advantage. So there he also says within every temporary defeat, because every defeat is temporary, okay? And he says lies the seed of an equivalent advantage. And this is what I'm going to share with you tonight. The opportunity for growth in your current conditions and circumstances is so powerful that if we are willing to change and learn from the experience, we can so significantly transform our lives for the better. We just have to be, as I said, willing to go through the doorway. So it is possible to refuse to learn the lessons. Yep, some people do. And instead remain in darkness. And if that is the case, there you will deal with recurring disappointment, sadness, and frustration. So this is a moment to think about ourselves and our own life and anything that seems to be kind of a repeated pattern. What's life trying to teach us there? So here's a beautiful quote by James Allen. I'm just going to read it. By earnest self-examination, strive to realize, and not merely hold as a theory, that evil is a passing phase, a self-created shadow, that all your pains, sorrows, and misfortunes have come to you by a process of undeviating and absolutely perfect law. Absolutely undeviating. How's that? Undeviating and absolutely perfect law. Have come to you because you deserve and require them. Yes, these are harsh words. He's saying you deserve them and require them, and that by first enduring and then understanding them, you may be made stronger, wiser, and nobler. So, deserving because we actually create them. It doesn't mean that you deserve to have the bad. It just means we get in life what we deserve. So, whatever we are, we get. So, we don't get any more than we are. We don't get any less than we are. We get what we deserve. So that's where that word comes in. And just remember the word perfect law, because law means it's undeviating and applies to everyone throughout time, culture, throughout history. That's a law. A law is the same for everyone. So we're going to dig a bit deeper into that. So when he says, about earnest self-examination, that's reflect. So let's just reflect quickly. Let's understand negativity and hard times in your life and think deeply into them. Don't deny them and don't ignore them. Face them. Secondly, don't worry or complain. This sounds like a very big ask. If you want to write something down, I'm not kidding, just write that line down. Don't worry or complain. They are both habit patterns of thought. If we complain, it's a habit and we can change it. If we worry, we are using a very powerful form of visualization and intention, engaging the law of cause and effect to create exactly more of that we worry about. So worrying is, I would say, even more sneaky and more powerful than active people who want to create good in their life, and they close their eyes and they go to a relaxed state and they visualize. If you're a silver graduate, you use mirror of the mind and you're visualizing for all the good in your life. Well, worry is so automatic as a habit pattern that we do it consistently if we are a person who worries throughout the day. And it's what? It's filled with emotion. And it's emotion that is the creative force. So worry is extremely dangerous in creating more of that we're going to worry about, or more bad times. That's why James Allen said a recurring pattern. And we get what we deserve because we actually don't have an awareness, so we create it. Next, figure out why the hardship is in your life and how it's negatively affecting your life. So take a pause, take some reflection, and think about the hardship. How is it affecting your life? And once we acknowledge, this problem is causing all these other negative experiences that I don't enjoy, what is it about this problem that I need to learn something here? So we call it the school of experience. Don't resist the school of experience. So any hardship in your life, don't wish it away. Like I said in the beginning, the sensualist who uses booze or drugs or sex, or the person who goes and redecorates their house or buys a new watch or a new car or something, just a luxury of some kind, whatever that escaping. Instead of trying to please ourselves and rush to some pleasure or book a holiday to get away from negative hardships and have some joy and happiness, let's not do that. Let's just, for this time, actually overcome and permanently remove this problem from our life. But we can only do that when we are willing to reflect on it and face it and not step away, not to run away from it. So not resist the school of life and start to actually maybe write down, start to list the hardships in your life, and one by one, let's take them and learn the lessons in them. So, as I said, adversity is just a passing phase. It's temporary. It only has the power over you that you give it. And once we learn this, we can be so free. We can be free in a heartbeat. But it takes awareness and a willingness not to complain, not to worry, and not to repeat the pattern, be stuck in negative emotion. And I'll put some on the screen in just a while of more descriptors of what we actually do when we are keeping ourselves in this pattern. Sometimes, Alice says, sometimes worrying about worrying is easy to do. How do you stop? Yeah, how do you stop? With awareness. You just stop. Just with awareness. So awareness is the first step. You're 50% there with awareness and the willingness, of course, to stop worrying. There's a 30-day challenge if anyone wants to try this. You put an elastic band around your one wrist. If you catch yourself worrying, pull it and let it sting you. Snap it on your wrist. I know this is a very silly sounding exercise, but did you know that if you just hurt yourself slightly when you catch yourself with something that you want to change and eradicate from your habit patterns, and you cause yourself even a little bit of pain, like snapping an elastic on your wrist, the brain remembers. And if you do it again, every time you worry, snap it until eventually you will be more aware and you'll worry over the 30 days less and less. It's a funny exercise, but it has actually proven to have some positive results. Every one of us is a habit pattern. We're a habit pattern on two legs. And worrying, Alice, is just a habit. And we can change it. You can also, of course, journal and reflect at the end of every day. How did you rate yourself on worrying today? Were you better? Were you more aware? And as you put focus there and more focus there, you can be better and better at it. Then it says the negativity stays in our life because of our own ignorance. As I said, this is a confrontational presentation tonight, but it's the truth. And I'd rather, shock you a little bit with some unpleasant truths, but then you find the path to freedom and to have more joy and peace and prosperity in your life. So if you find negativity that stays, this is even more important for you to pay attention, that there's something that you're not understanding. There's something that you're not willing to look at. And that's what, when I say our own ignorance. Things we strive for often end up hurting us. Same as that boy, he wanted to touch that candle. Mother said no all the time until one night she was tired, did a guard down, he touched the candle and he burned. So often things that we strive for, we think we really want them, and as we go on and on wanting them, they end up hurting us. I can't give you too many examples here, but I'll give you one example. If anyone knows the author Jack Welch, he wrote the book called Jack, and he was GE's CEO for many years and was rated one of the best CEOs in the last century. Jack Welch has admitted now that he's in his retirement that he was a real workaholic and he neglected his kids. He didn't have any relationship with them at all. And he said now that he's in his retirement and he wants to have a relationship with his kids, they dislike him. They don't even want to know him. And he was a very hard man. If you read his book on what he did at GE and how he cut the 10%, and if you don't cut your 10% in your division, then you'll be fired. So it's a bit controversial how he did lead and manage. And I'm not here to say which one is right or wrong. I'm just mentioning that what he strived for his whole life and put all his focus and attention on it now has ended up hurting him. And what has he really got in his life? Is in his latter years, and what has he really got? Yes, he was great while he was doing that, but did he really focus on sowing seeds that would bear fruit for a lifetime, or was it short goals? Also, the good inside, the good is inside you and all around you. So we don't have to go anywhere, strive for anything to create the good in our life. We just need to get out of the shadow that we're casting, which we are creating, that we are the ones standing in the light. It's the same as saying good is inside you, or the light is inside you, or it's another way of saying the kingdom is within, or God is within, whatever you want to term it. The light is already in you. You came divinely into this world from a perfect, unconditional love source, incarnated into earth, became a human, grew up, and if anything is negative in your life, it's ourselves disconnected or blocking that light. And that's what I mean by the good. The good is already inside us and it's all around you. We just need to learn about the shadow that we're casting, face it and change it. And then it says you can examine your own life and learn and grow from the negativity within. And that's the purpose of the Meaningful Monday. So when that quote said, which I'll refer to, James Allen said, all your pains, sorrows, and misfortunes have come to you by a process of undeviating an absolutely perfect law. Let's just look at what we mean by the law. So here's a couple of quotes. Buddha said, you are what you think. James Allen says, the world is what you are, or your world reflects you, or all that you see in the universe is within yourself, or every person attracts his or her own experiences, and nothing can possibly come to the individual that does not belong to him or her. This is the universal and divine law. And this is the topic of the Meaningful Monday, so we can come to not blame, not judge, not criticize, but become students of the lesson in our life that's there for a blessing, learn from it through self-reflection, and see how we can change what's inside us and bring the light, get out of the way of the light and let the light shine from us and through us. So just as an example, this is relating to money because it's about from the book, The Pathway to Prosperity. It says the person who is selfish and greedy is heading towards misfortune and catastrophe. The person who is unselfish and noble is heading towards happiness and prosperity. So that's regarding money, but you can think about this in your own life, even in relationships. Negative emotions like resentment, envy, revenge. Revenge is very subtle, my friends. It doesn't mean that you're doing something hectically serious like, an eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth thing. Revenge is as subtle as just wanting to get even or just wanting someone to know that you pissed. If you want someone to know that you're upset about something that they did and you show it in some way, that is revenge. Okay, or a negative emotion like resistance or jealousy or anger or sadness or frustration. What would that create in your life if you're looking at those two quotes there just relating to money, versus if we had love, compassion, forgiveness, kindness, caring, and not some of the time to some of the people, but to be willing to develop that all of the time for all of the people, everyone. That's the challenge. I'll tell you this story about two guys who lost their fortunes. I'm just going to actually read it from the book because it's quite nice, the way it's been put here. It says, two young men lost their life savings. They had worked hard for years to save this money and lost it all in one fell swoop. After hearing the news of complete loss, the first man was deeply troubled, stressed out, depressed, and he went straight to the liquor store and he bought a few bottles of whiskey and began to drink in an effort to lessen the negative thoughts and feelings within himself. The second man read in his morning newspaper about his hopeless failure of the bank in which his money was deposited. So the bank went under, and that's how he lost all his money. And he also lost it all. Except this guy remarked, well, it's gone, and trouble and worry won't bring it back, but hard work will. So he dug himself into his work with a renewed energy and rapidly became prosperous. The first man continued drinking and complaining about his bad luck. Adverse circumstances continued to beat him around. He had become a slave to his negative thoughts. So the loss of money was a curse to the first man because he immediately clothed the event with dark and dreary thoughts. But the loss became a blessing to the second man because he clothed the event with thoughts of strength, hope, and renewed efforts. So the point is, if life was truly just a result of external circumstances, so think about your own life, and let me start again. If life is truly just a result of external circumstances, well, then these two men would have been blessed or cursed in exactly the same way. But they weren't. They had completely different outcomes. And that outcomes prove that their thoughts about what happened and their reactions to the circumstances are far more important than the circumstances themselves. And this relates to everybody, to every circumstance, all the time, how we think about what's happening to us. So, when you realize this truth, you'll begin to control your thoughts and discipline your mind and treat basically your mind as a valuable temple or creative house or sanctuary, some word that's got incredible value to you is your mind. And if we can pay attention to eliminate useless and negative thinking and fill our mind with different thoughts of strength, of calmness, of love, of beauty, forgiveness, things like that, then our lives will start to reflect that. So here it says understanding the law. So I'm going to talk now about the way out of undesirable conditions. How do we get out? So circumstances are the rulers of the weak, but they are the instruments of the wise. So what does this quote actually mean? Circumstances are the rulers of the weak. That's like people who are victims. They think that circumstances are oppressing them, are causing them hardship or suffering in some way, some pain and suffering. But they are unaware or ignorant of the fact that it's got nothing to do with the circumstance. That's got nothing to do with it. If anything, the circumstance has been attracted into their life through their own thinking. But circumstances are the instruments of the wise, and this is the purpose of tonight. We have the ability to take every circumstance, especially the negative, adverse circumstances, and use them as instruments to grow and get rid of the shadow and let more light shine through. So now you realize the true nature of whatever term you want to call it, they're just words: evil, adversity, tough times. It's the passing shadow thrown by you that temporarily blocks the light of the supreme and eternal good. Or you could say by the supreme and eternal God. Choose any word you wish. And you also realize that the world is a mirror, which each person sees as a reflection of themselves. And that's what Buddha said. The world is a reflection of you. So with this comes the realization that everything is an endless cycle of the law of cause and effect. I love this quote. I just love it. The whole quote. Everyone knows the first part. Whatsoever a man sows, that shall he also reap, is inscribed in flaming letters upon the doorway to eternity. I love those words. Upon the doorway to eternity means it's never going to change. It's never going to deviate. It's not going to have any exceptions, no matter who the person is, no matter if they good people, bad people, whatever. The law of cause and effect is universal law, applies to anyone. And whatever a man sows, that he shall reap. No one can deny it. No one can cheat it. No one can escape it. And this is what we're talking about. So let's talk about sowing and reaping, or the law of cause and effect. If you bring negative conditions, things like negative emotion of hatred or jealousy, I've only got a few here. There's a whole long list. Anger, jealousy, lust, envy, greed, fear. Fear is important, guys. Fear is really important. We just think we are a victim to fear. When we feel a sense of doubt inside ourselves or any kind of fear, and we all experience fear. Every person experiences some fear at some stage. Just have the awareness that it's just a thought. It's a thought that you have without awareness, that something automatically just brought this emotion in, but you can change it. It's just a thought and we can change it. Fear is just a feeling. You can overcome it with awareness. So it says here, just hold on, I can't see my own screen, that these are subconscious efforts of the soul to overthrow the law. And you can't overthrow the law. The law is eternal. It's undeviating. And these negative emotions lead to chaos and confusion within. Sooner or later, they are shown in outward circumstances such as disease, failure, misfortune, grief, pain, depression, including poverty, unhappiness, sadness. However, when we bring positive conditions like love, gentleness, goodwill, purity. Purity is an interesting word. Purity is included here. If anyone's read the book As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, he talks in depth about the secret thoughts that we have, secret thoughts, deep, that we share with no one, that goes on inside ourselves. If they're not pure thoughts, noble thoughts, kind thoughts, this is included here. So it's got the purity. I'm just mentioning that because some people think that the thoughts that they never talk about or express or show the world don't affect their lives or create any harm. But they absolutely do. I think the line, if I can remember it from memory, out of As a Man Thinketh, says, something like secrets that the soul harbors, whether it be of love or of hate, manifest themselves and get reflected into our lives. So let's carry on here. Goodness, purity, forgiveness, tithing. I've included tithing. I haven't got the time to go into tithing. This is a spiritual practice which I cannot talk more highly of. There's a previous Meaningful Monday. Please listen to it. This will change your faith. It will change you, and it will absolutely change your prosperity. There is actually only one quote in the whole Bible where God says, test me. And let me just find it on my phone quickly. It's Malachi 3:10. It says, bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in my house, and prove me now, says the Lord. It's the only quote, as far as I know, where in the Bible it says, prove me now. So if you don't have much faith, or you don't believe in something with concrete faith, but you want some faith in your life, or you want, let me say it clearly, prosperity and more abundance in your life, then please tithe and go find that quote. It's Malachi 3:10. It says, bring your tithes and prove me now. So I'm just adding it there. And there's a Meaningful Monday on tithing. So that is a practice, and it is nothing less than a tenth. It's not a ninth, an eighth, a fifth, a half. It's a tenth. Because it requires faith. It's a little bit more than we can really easily, do. And then compassion or empathy, beautiful emotions. And compassion is actually a state. So it says, they are cooling airs that breathe peace upon the soul that seeks them. They are in harmony with the eternal law and become actualized in the form of health, peaceful surroundings, and undeviating success, prosperity, and good fortune. So it's just simple physics, the law of cause and effect. So with our lives, if you will be patient under all circumstances, and accept them as necessary to your schooling, to your training, to the lessons of your life, you will rise superior to all painful conditions. You'll overcome them with the power that is certain and leaves no fear of their return. I love those words, and that comes from James Allen. No fear of their return, because when we do learn the lesson, overcome the hardship, change our nature, our character from within, the light shines through. And once you've cracked yourself a little bit more open to more light shining through, it doesn't regain its old shape. You grow and you open, and that's evolution. That's how we improve ourselves. So basically, if you will commit to improving your inner life, stop criticizing anything outside of you, stop complaining about anything outside of you, just commit quietly, calmly to improving your inner life, you can create the outward life that you want. And I'm talking about money. Absolutely, I am. There's no doubt. It's the book's title. and happy relationships. I mentioned those two because those are the things that affect us most. Everything else is a bonus. And of course, health. Health comes naturally when we have good thinking. And as a man thinketh, it says, even a man who eats the most pure diet, the healthiest foods, whatever, supplements, organic, whatever, if he's got sick thoughts, he will have a sick body. No diet, no food, and no lifestyle can make that man healthy if he's got sick thoughts. So that's why this is so true. If you commit to improving your inner life, making an effort to change the way you think, that's all it is. It's how we think. And choose different thoughts. And when things really trouble us, pay attention to what troubled me here. How did I get this reaction? And what is it that I'm meant to learn? So to discipline your mind, we need to get rid of your weaknesses. That's what it is. Allow your soul forces to reveal themselves. I love that term. Learn the laws that govern all your results. And the laws, there are several laws. I'll just mention 7 of them, which come from the science of getting rich. The law of cause and effect, the law of gender, the law of rhythm, the law of polarity, the law of transmutation of energy, and the law of, if I didn't say rhythm, cause and effect, rhythm, might have left one out, I can't keep track. But there are several laws, and these laws govern all our results. But as Emerson said, cause and effect is the law of all laws, which is the same as sowing and reaping. So what we need to do is learn to harness your creative power without negating the efforts. Now, this means you can harness your creative power. If you've done the Silver Method, or you've read the Silver Method, or any book about manifesting, in that book, if it's a good book, it will tell you to visualize with emotion your goal, your outcome, whatever you want. If you go do that every single day, but you don't change your negative emotion, you are negating the efforts that you're making to harness your creative power. When you visualize to create something and you want to manifest, you must have positive emotion and basically feel good, have no fear and doubt, have full faith, joy, compassion, kindness, love, and things like that. And every good thing is going to flow into your life. You'll also attract golden opportunities and even the wisdom on how to use them well. Similar people will be drawn to you. I love that. Similar people. Everybody wants like-minded people around them. You here sitting here tonight for Meaningful Monday, thank you so much for joining again. I do appreciate you being here. Wouldn't you love to hang out with more people just like yourselves here tonight? That's the beauty of staying consistent in our application of what we're learning. And also, all resources will appear to help you get your goal or your dream. And if you do those, you'll be amazed at the magical changes that happen in your life. So in order to learn the laws and train the mind, I've got 2 events that will facilitate this if you would like to join. I have a few spots left. Science of Getting Rich. We learn the universal laws in this mastermind. We not only learn them, we practice them. And they are used to create prosperity. The mastermind is called the science of getting rich because the law of cause and effect is a scientific law. It doesn't deviate, as I said, no matter who uses it. So if we know the law and we learn how to live in harmony with the laws, then creating wealth and money is an absolute science. There are 17 amazing chapters. I've actually printed the list here. I'm just going to rattle them off very quickly. There are chapters, for example, as these: The Right to Be Rich. When I first heard that, my mind shut closed and I had massive resistance. I didn't like it. It sounded too bold and turned me off. And after years and years of reading this book, and I mean years and years, I've read this book over and over for more than 10 years, I realized that it was a limiting belief. I've been conditioned somewhere in my early childhood to think there was a problem by saying you have a right to be rich. That's chapter 1, which is quite strong to start the book. It talks about the science itself of getting rich. Is opportunity monopolized? Another chapter. Then something called increasing life and how riches come to you. There's an amazing chapter on gratitude, which I love because this book is totally different to Think and Grow Rich, but totally different. And it includes gratitude. So many other books about prosperity leave that chapter out, and this one is in absolute depth. Then he talks about thinking in a certain way is a certain chapter, and acting in a certain way is another chapter. Getting into the right business, something called the impression of increase, how you give the impression of increase to everyone that you meet. What is an advancing person and how you become that. And then some cautions and concluding observations. And then the book is a summary. I think it's a fantastic book. I've read it many, many times over many, many years. And Bob Proctor actually gave me the license and his own workbook on the science of getting rich, and I used that in the mastermind. So I wrote to the Proctor Gallagher estate a couple of years ago, asked Bob Proctor if I could use the workbook I did when I did his course on the science of getting rich, and he said with pleasure. That is before he passed, and it's the exact same book. So I do recommend this mastermind. It's a phenomenal study. And then the Silver Method is a way to develop your mind. So what we're talking about is learning the laws, because the law of cause and effect is the law of laws, and you, with awareness, and you know, and you understand them, you can create what you want effortlessly because you stay in harmony. If we're not aware of them and we go against them, we negate our efforts. We negate our efforts over and over again, and we wonder why we're doing all these things to improve our life conditions, and then nothing really changes quickly. It takes so long, it's so slow. It's because of negativity and the lack of awareness on how we use the laws. And then obviously the Silver Method is to help train the mind, to focus the mind. So just on the science of getting rich, I just said this one person, Darlene, many of you have met her. She said, it helped me, she said, helped me feel more calm, yet excited and confident going forward. It gave me tools to utilize and remind myself for when things go my way and when things are not going as planned. This is the key takeout. How do we have awareness on what to do when things do not go our way, and not just when things are going our way? And also when things are going our way, we sometimes tend to be lazy in thinking and application, which causes us to slowly come back to a point where we have to think, oh, what am I doing wrong? How do I apply it again? Instead of changing from the inside out, as it says in James Allen's words, and overcoming it and never allowing it back. So we grow and maintain that level and not let it come back into our lives. And then here's just a testimonial on the Silver Method. This person said after doing the course, they really were surprised and feel blessed by the results of the techniques they learned, having unlocked some major goals. This person got a promotion and even their dream home. Getting the goal, you can use the Silver Method techniques. They absolutely do work. There's no doubt about it. We impress the subconscious mind. It helps create a change in behavior automatically, and it seems quite effortless. As long as through the rest of the day, our mind is in the right place with the things that we've just mentioned up to now. So someone asked Laura Silver, and I've shared this before in some other Meaningful Mondays. They said to Laura Silver, do you always get what you're programmed for? She's, by the way, Jose Silver's daughter. And she said, no, I usually get better. And I just want to share how many people have said this. And the Silver Method classes, when it said they keep a group and attract to you people who are similar to you or like-minded to you. Here are just a few pics. This was January. We did a Silver Method class in Perth. Beautiful group there. We've now established a group and we're going to only grow in Perth. This was our February Silver Method class. March, we went to South Africa. We've now got a group there. So if any South Africans are listening or to this recording, we're coming back. We're going to grow the group there too. And this was now recently in May. So we look forward to more. All these people, the more they get together and hang out together and come to graded workshops, get to know each other, and you eventually establish yourself in what I call a tribe. And that's what we want. You want like-minded people around you, people who think on the same frequency as you and can only encourage and support you. So let me give you some final words, which are not from the presentation. There's some extra things I want to mention here. Firstly, stop complaining and stop worrying. You only strengthen the negativity that keeps you stuck. This I cannot emphasize enough. Write it down. Complaining and worrying are going to cause nothing but negative outcomes in your life. We have to harness them through discipline. And I mean disciplined thought, disciplined awareness. When am I worrying? Cancel. Have positive self-talk, positive self-encouragement. Develop faith in anything, faith in yourself, faith in a higher power, faith in God, faith in the flow of life, whatever it may be, faith in your purpose, and overcome your fear with faith. And also, there's no habit more degrading and soul destroying than self-pity. If you're ever feeling sorry for yourself, please take a few hours and do it if you must. Cry if you have to. But then get up, dust yourself off, and do not go back there. You know, where there's loss, there is grief. I myself mentioned even on video last week, I was sad. I lost that commercial property I thought and I absolutely loved. Just wasn't right. Just wasn't right for me. I put the video out in my newsletter. Yeah, I was sad. I was sad for half a day. There's no doubt. But then that's it. Then I'm up and I'm back on it. And no self-pity. It does nothing for you. It's going to ruin your life and keep you bogged down. Also, none of the people or things that you blame for your problems is the reason for your problems. James Allen writes this, his words to your face, you are the reason. We do need to hear that. As hard as it is to hear, as confrontational as it is, we need to actually get that in our head. None of the people or the things that you blame for the problems in your life are the reason. You are the reason. And it's there for a positive reason, to help us learn a lesson for our spiritual evolution, to let more light in, to get those positive qualities in our character, forgiveness, compassion, love. Also, build yourself up inside by faith and knowledge. And learn the first lesson first before you can learn the next. The example I give you is lottery winners. We all know they lose all their money. 95% lose all their money within 2 years, and they're often worse off financially than they were before. Why is that? Because they didn't use the money they had before they won the lottery wisely. So think about your life. The little that you have of money, if you're not managing that well, then if you got a whole lot more, you wouldn't manage it well either. So that's the important thing. Learn the lesson that's right in front of you first and master it. And you know what? If you do with money, abundance is just going to come. It is that way. Use poverty to develop patience, hope, courage, faith, the big one, and tithing. I mentioned it again as a practice. If you're going to listen to this tithing word out of my mouth and just skip it and go on with your life, I'm here to say, please don't. I cannot urge you more. Watch my Meaningful Monday called Tithing. Please watch it. If you still don't believe that I've got any sense on that subject, then find a PDF online for free and read it. Google the word. Hear stories of people. It's actually Shirley, who's here tonight, who recommends it at the graded workshop on that book, The 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity. I bought the book, and there's the whole first section of the book. Shirley, I want to tell you, I'm loving the book, is again about tithing from a different perspective. This, where is it now? Tithing is something that if you're going to skip and think it doesn't apply to me, let it apply to everyone else except me, you're missing the biggest opportunity of your life to improve yourself as a person, develop discipline, develop faith more than anything else, and a promise, not a wish, not a hope, a promise of prosperity flowing into your life, abundance, money flowing into your life. It's the law. It does not deviate, and it comes from tithing. So I can't talk more strongly about that one. Also, it's useless wanting more time if you waste what little free time you have now. More time will only make you lazier. I found this fascinating in James Allen's book. So yes, the little that we have, let's use it. Use lack of time to develop punctual habits, prompt decision making, improve your character, improve yourself, learn the lesson. When you do that, you'll find you have an abundance of time, much more time. And then when you don't have enough time, it's the same as the principle of tithing. If you think you don't have enough time, spend this week giving your time away. Give it to people. who you think, you're so busy you haven't got the time. Give it to them with a heart of gratitude, not a resentful one, gratitude, and bless that time with them, and you'll find you will have more time. So if whatever you don't have, give that away. It's the law of economics. Give to get, sow to reap. Whatever it is that you want in your life, give of that thing and you will receive more. You want more love in your life? Give more love. You want more friends in your life? Give friendly attitude. Be friendly. Be more friendly than you naturally are, and you will have more friends. So whatever it is that we want, we need to give it. And that's why tithing is such a beautiful practice. It works. And remember, when it comes to tithing, the just to make it easy, in one line, this is what I learned from John Maxwell. The money is not mine. I manage it. And for that, I get to keep 90%. And what I mean by manage it is I am the hands of the source of all supply in this world. And with these hands, I'm here to do some good. Otherwise, what's the point of me being here? And that's what tithing is. It's your opportunity to do something good in this world for people who are less fortunate than you, and you get to keep 90%. By the power of your self-discipline, you will see adversity change to blessings. Okay, the summary: the world reflects you. Become truly and permanently prosperous, you must first become virtuous. That's those inequalities. Make giving and service the object of your life, the purpose of your life. Not getting and receiving. Giving becomes the purpose of your life. Whatever value you have, and you all have value, give it away. Add value, add value, add value. Tithe. If you're not helping others with the little bit that you have, then more money will only make you more selfish. The law of cause and effect. Inner good becomes prosperity. Inner negativity or evil becomes poverty and weakness. You are the world that you see. Correct your heart and you will correct your life. Replace lust, hatred, anger, vanity, pride, envy, greed, jealousy, obstinacy, self-seeking, which lead to poverty and weakness, with love, purity, even your secret thoughts, gentleness, meekness, patience, compassion, generosity, self-forgetfulness, forgiveness, that lead to what? Wealth and power. Use bad situations to develop good habits. So money management, time management, discipline. Don't ask for more money, time, or resources until you are a very good steward of that what you already have. Invest in your personal development. Be improving always. I went on a course about the way of the wealthy, and there were 4 steps to wealth. The first one is invest in yourself. So that's step 1. Step 2 is invest in your skills, whatever you're good at, master your craft. Third is invest in your business. And if you're an employee, whatever the business that is, invest that you are better at that. And last was invest in assets, whether it's property, the stock market, to create wealth. Because if you only go for assets, trying to save the money to buy these assets, but you haven't invested in yourself or your skills or your business, you potentially wouldn't manage that well. So personal development, I have to say, is the greatest investment you'll ever make in your life. Always be improving yourself. And then last but not least, keep a positive attitude regardless of your circumstances. Remember the story of the 2 men who lost all their money? The one turned to whiskey and the other one created a fortune and found it as a blessing in his life to build it all again. Do the best you can from where you are with what you've got right now. So this applies to if you don't like where you're working or your job and you want a better job. If you want to get the best job for you, then where you are right now, give your best, not your least, your best. Even if you are extremely unhappy at that place, to manifest the best, you have to give the best where you are with what you've got right now. Don't think, oh, when I get the job of my dreams or a better job with a better employer who's not such an idiot and nicer people around me that are not so whatever, I'll then give my best. No. You take yourself with you wherever you go. The world is a reflection of you. So do your best, be your kindest and the best version of yourself here, and the world will reflect that change. And if that environment's not right for you, you will manifest the right environment to reflect that's inside you. Absolutely. If you establish yourself in the highest virtue, I love this quote, the world will fall at your feet. I'll say it again. If you establish yourself in the highest virtue, the world will fall at your feet. Come out of your poverty and pain by coming out of yourself. That's that shadow which we cast. And if you can conquer yourself, you will find the highest prosperity and lasting joy and bliss. So these are the promises from James Allen's book. And what I love about them is they are based on universal law and they do not deviate. They apply to every one of us. So that's that. Anybody have any questions before we go into the events coming up? Anyone? You can type it in the chat or unmute your mic. Or did you get any benefit out of tonight? Was it helpful at all? I think most of this we all know, but it's sometimes a good reminder to think, instead of us complaining about the world outside, let me try and become a person of better qualities, better character, better virtue. And when we make that effort, I promise you, the universe responds so fast with positive results, feedback, and abundance in your life. It just really is an absolute law. All right. Someone did write here something. Ah, thank you, Jan. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I hope everyone else enjoyed it too. Okay, so next event is the Science of Getting Rich. There are 4 spots left. It's on the 5th of July it starts. It's a 9-week mastermind. You do get the workbook and you do get the book included. I'm just letting you know we are starting to launch the Silver Method in South Africa for 2024. It's obviously for South Africa. However, if you want to do the Silver Method and wanted an amazing experience in a game reserve, we are holding it where we held the first one in March at a place called Cradle Moon Lakeside Game Reserve, just outside Johannesburg. So literally from landing on the airport, you would get a private taxi and take you straight through to Cradle Moon. And I'll just show you a quick video if you didn't see it last week. And it's really, really inexpensive. The whole 4 days, including all meals and accommodation for up to 3 people in a chalet, is only $500. That's because of the exchange rate. So here's the video. I hope the sound is loud. Just put your mics up if they're not up. I mean your speakers, and here's the video. What an opportunity to do the Silver Method in a venue as spectacular as this. Every day, this is what we saw while we were doing the 4-day Silver Method. We've seen zebra, we've seen giraffe. Last night, outside the room, slept a whole lot of impala. Sorry, the volume's a bit soft there for some reason. I don't know why. It's not on the original video soft. But I just want to say we had the most an experience of awe and wonder beyond the Silver Method training, which was just amazing. The venue, looking outside the actual conference room, zebras walk past every day. Impala, blue wildebeest slept outside the room the one night. Woke up in the morning, there were like 25 wildebeest just lying right outside the room, and there's a balcony there. You can take your coffee and go stand there, and they're literally right in front of you. Just an exquisite venue. There's hot air ballooning, game drives. The game drives cost an Australian $23 per person, and they like 2 to 3 hours. And you see everything, rhinos right up close and personal. So just an amazing experience. And if anyone is interested, we will be taking some bookings from Australia, of course. And all we want are expressions of interest if you potentially would be interested. There's no booking page yet. We're just taking expressions of interest, but it is an amazing opportunity. Nancy, I don't know if you're on and you are able to speak, but maybe you want to share your experience. It was your first time in South Africa. that moment when you went through the gates? Where are you? I'm trying to find
Yeah,
you.
I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, it was amazing. I really, sorry, can you see me?
Yes.
I don't really have any words, to be honest, other than I was taken back with awe and wonder. I was so touched by what I saw. I got quite emotional, and just knowing that there is a presence that's so much greater than me, you know. South African hospitality was amazing. That just everyone just smiles. Everyone wants to help. Really beautiful people, really soulful people, and the food was amazing. There really wasn't anything I could fault, really, in a beautiful venue, and doing exactly what we love. So I really really enjoyed every single moment of South Africa, and I look forward to next year, definitely.
Thanks. Yeah, Nancy was really overcome, if I may say so. She became quite emotional and cried at the first. As we got into the gates, the road was blocked by a whole lot of zebra there, and they walked right past the open window of the car, just stunning. And then on the side, if we turned and looked the other way, there were three giraffes right outside the car window, just stunning. All right. As for the next silver events, September 14 to 17. If you want to book, please go ahead and book. If you're from interstate, we will let you know where the venue is. If you haven't heard the news, then please check out my newsletter on why I had to pull out of the commercial property I was absolutely in love with due to some very unfair, overpowering, and one illegal clause in a lease agreement that's actually the landlord was the government or is the government. So we can watch my video there if you haven't seen it already, but we had to pull out and now we're looking for another commercial premises and hopefully we'll have it by September all set up and we'll let you know. And if for any reason we don't and we're still looking, there's no problem. We'll just hire probably the Parramatta Ride Golf Club again, which was a stunning venue. Bobby was there and some other, and Mike was there and maybe someone else. And then if anyone would like to join Love Yourself, Heal Your Life, if you haven't heard of it, it's Louise Hay's Transformational Workshop, an amazing 2 days of just loving yourself and healing your inner child wounds and just having a whole lot of healing for a more authentic and real expression of yourself and a happier life, really. Because we all get triggered by something here and there, and this just helps us become, more kind of healed from our inner, we all have inner child wounds to some degree. It's a beautiful workshop. Anyway, it's 2 full days. They're a Thursday and a Friday, and they are always going to be on a Thursday and Friday because we don't recommend you do anything on the following Saturday and Sunday. You'll just love yourself and want that time for yourself. And I recommend you don't travel if you're traveling from interstate. So there's about a week left on the early bird. Then the price is $997. So there's 4 seats left for that. If you want to, please book.
Can I ask a question?
Pleasure.
With Louise Hay's workshop, Heal Yourself, Heal Your Life, I started going through the actual assessment book that I purchased on the last Silver Method and Intuition course. Is that necessary to complete
No.
before this course? Because I've come to the point where I'm not able to cross over the blockages.
Yeah, it's not a requirement. And you might find it even easier to do even after the course because we do have some blocks, and that's the purpose of that workbook. It is trying to help us understand our beliefs because our beliefs are created over our lifetime, and they are the reason and the cause of our experience of life. So that book is got many aspects to it, but it's about really the thing that we just are blind spots. They're just massive blind spots, and a trigger. If ever you get triggered or you get upset about something, or just that horrible feeling inside that just comes up. And it happened to me. Trust me, I had the biggest breakthrough of my life when I did Love Yourself, Heal Your Life in October last year. We all get triggered, and it's an opportunity to understand why we get triggered, because once you know what triggered you and you can heal that, which you do in the course, and you can heal something else in any subsequent course. I am doing Nancy's Heal Your Life workshop this week on Thursday and Friday, because I want to keep healing my life. And if I can get to do it in Townsville or Cairns again, I'm on a plane and I'm right there. And I do a lot of personal development, because the layers of our healing never end through a lifetime. You could do a Heal Your Life every 6 months. For 150 years, you would still have more depth to go. It just is the way it is. Even Louise Hay says it herself. So, Bobby, in short, you don't have to do the workbook if you're feeling blocked. Even better that you're coming, because it will help you so much to get those things unblocked. And then we grow and we understand ourselves better. If you want to know what this course really gives you, 1, authenticity. 2, the ability to be vulnerable. And vulnerability takes courage. It's not a weakness, my friends. It's courageous. It's just to be authentically you, comfortable in your own skin, not playing any masks or image to the world of whatever it is you're trying to show the world to be liked or approved of. It's coming just to be comfortable in your own skin. And we can only get there when we've healed the things that our inner child's trying to protect us for all the time. So everything that we do, every trigger is an unhealed child wound. And all I can say is, love yourself, heal your life. In my whole journey has been the most transformation in just 2 days that I've ever experienced. The Silver Method is a completely different course. It gives you a toolbox of techniques that last a lifetime, and you can create really anything you want in your life using those tools. They're just completely different, and there's no one way to grow or to heal. We are a multifaceted, highly complex beings with a subconscious and conscious mind that is so complex, no one could even scratch the surface as to what it's about. So we do need to be multifaceted in our personal development and in our healing journeys. And people think, oh, what does healing journey mean? I'm not sick. We all have emotional healing, spiritual healing, mental healing, and many people even physical healing. And physical disease always has an underlying emotional root cause. And that's the power of Louise Hay's work. How many people she's helped with that. And when they release or heal the inner wound, their body can spontaneously heal. And Louise Hay did it herself with cancer. So thank you for your question. I hope I didn't answer that too long. We've got a few minutes left.
Thank you very much.
We're going to do a guided meditation now. So if you've never been on my Meaningful Monday before, please can you grab a pen and paper? We're going to write some answers in the meditation. Karen says, I'm interested in the Silver Method in South Africa. Excellent. Please do send us an email, Karen. I'm going to write the address here. It's admin@JanineShakaInternational.com. Please just send us your expression of interest, and we'll keep your name on the list as we further the plans. It's looking to be the end of April. So thank you. It'll be amazing. It was amazing, and it'll just be more amazing. All right. So we're going to reset your mind and body with a quick meditation to relax. So if you're new, we're going to do a little bit of a fractional relax. I'll do a bit of creative imagination on how to cleanse your energy field using the imagination or the imagery of a waterfall of light. And then we will go into what we want to focus on for the month ahead. And your eyes are going to be closed. I'm going to ask you 3 or 4 questions. As the answers come up, please just write down your first impressions. Do not analyze them or judge them. Just write down your first impressions and trust your answers and you can look at them once you've come out the meditation or tomorrow, and they will be of a place of truth. We will be tapping into your intuition or your higher self. Just play a little bit of music here. And if you can keep your cameras on, I do prefer it because then I can see if you're writing and if you're not writing, so I can time my pauses. All right. So find a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Take a nice, deep, relaxing breath. And as you exhale, just relax your body, becoming aware of all tensions and ligament pressures, and relax those parts of your body. From the top of your head, relax your scalp, moving slowly downward. Relax your forehead, your face, your jaw. Drop your shoulders and relax your shoulders. And then consciously relax your back from your neck to the end of your spine. Take a slow, deep breath in. And as you exhale, relax your chest. And then take another deep belly breath in your belly. And as you exhale, relax your abdomen. And feel how good it feels to take deep, slow, rhythmic breaths. And just continue to relax through your thighs, your knees, your calves, all the way down to your feet. Continue to breathe slowly, deeply and rhythmically as you relax. You are now experiencing a deep state of relaxation. You're now going to create in your mind an ideal place of relaxation. It can be real or imagined. It can be somewhere that you've been or maybe somewhere that you'd like to go. Just allow it to be a place where you feel totally relaxed. Just begin to experience this place right now. Now that you've created your ideal place of relaxation, you're going to add a waterfall of white light into the scene. Place it wherever you choose. The waterfall is gentle, allowing you to stand under the cascading white light. The light is a healing energy, a clearing energy. Your waterfall of light is now created. Walk over to the waterfall and stand under the cascading white light. Allow the white light to swirl around you, encompassing you within its glow. It's clearing all the stress, tension, and clutter of not just today or last week or last month, but of your entire lifetime. As this light clears your energy field, just notice how much happier you look. Notice the smile on your face. And notice how the weights that you've been carrying are no longer a burden. And notice now how your energy field is expanding out as you are radiating love. And see how this love radiating from you positively affects everything and everyone around you. This waterfall of light is always available to you whenever you need. All you need to do is close your eyes, imagine your ideal place of relaxation, and immerse yourself in this healing white light. Just take a slow, relaxing, deep breath. And as you exhale, just relax further and deeper. And mentally repeat these beneficial statements to yourself. Every day, in every way, I am getting better, better, and better. Positive thoughts bring me benefits I desire. I will always maintain a perfectly healthy body, mind, and immune system. Now, imagine this white light turns to green. You are now immersed in this glowing green light. This green light is unconditional love. It surrounds you. It encompasses you. It flows through your entire being. It fills you with love. Any hurts you felt, any pain that you felt, any angry moments, just allow this beautiful, unconditional love to heal all those spaces now. Knowing that the more you heal, the easier it is to be more forgiving, loving, kind, gentle, compassionate, including to yourself. You are an amazing human being. You deserve love. You deserve joy. You deserve abundance and prosperity, and you deserve peace. It is now time to step out of the waterfall. Step out of this waterfall of light. Your energy field is now clean and clear, and you are in the flow of universal love and energy. Just take a moment to bask in this feeling of connectedness. We are all connected. At an energy level, at a subatomic particle energetic level, we are all connected. Feel the love and the positive energy of us as a group just connecting here for now. You have now reset your body and mind for the month ahead. It's now time to set your intention for the month ahead. So I'm going to count from 10 to 1. When you reach the count of 1, you will have tuned into your own inner wisdom, your own intuition, or your higher self. That part of you that when you tune in guides you and intuitively knows what is best for you. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are now tuned into that part of you that guides you and intuitively knows what is best for you. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Just write down your first impressions. Do not analyze anything. Write everything down, even if it feels like you're making it up. What do I need to focus on for the month ahead? Whatever comes to mind, write it down. And then when you're done, take a deep breath, close your eyes again, and re-enter the meditation. And relax. And now again, you're going to write down your first impressions. The next question is, what steps do I need to take me closer to what I want to be, do, or have? Write down your first impressions. What steps do I need to take me closer to what I want to be, do, or have? And then take a slow, relaxing breath. Relax. The next question, just write down your first impressions again. What do I need to let go of? What do I need to let go of? Just trust what comes up. And then the last question, is there anything else? Is there anything else I need to know? Is there anything else I need to do? Is there anything else? And allow a deep breath and relax. And just have a sense of gratitude for yourself, just for allowing the wisdom to come to you and writing it down. And then slowly bring your attention back to your body. I'm going to count from 1 to 3. At the count of 3, you'll open your eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. 1, 2, 3. Eyes open, wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Did you get some answers? Okay, everyone's got a thumbs up there. That's good. I just want to say, trust the answers that you got. Just trust them. If you were nice and relaxed, then those answers come from your higher self, your intuition. The most important thing is, if you've got any advice, is to act on it. So never get wisdom and not act on it. It's like a gift. Thank you, Vandana. I thank you. She's thanking me, but thank you. I want to stop the recording.